First, I'll ask our chairman APC, Mr. Shekri, to talk about our fair.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the organizers of this fair to welcome me here as a chief guest. And I must say, I'm highly impressed with the kind of quality, the kind of variety, and the level of sustainability most of these exhibitors have displayed. And this is really, I think I've never seen such a thing in any of the India fairs. And I think I wish I had come here earlier. This is my first trip here and very, very impressive. Yeah, so we have, I have seen, like I said, a very large variety of fabrics, right from, all genders and all age groups, starting from newborn to adults. And what is most impressive is that a lot of the exporters here and manufacturers, they're moving towards MMF fabric, which is what the world today needs. And I think this is a very good step. And I must thank all the buying agencies who have been helping and promote MMF out of Tirupur.
EAG norms. EAG norms.
Yeah. So I just mentioned that about sustainability and zero discharge and carbon neutrality. So I am, like I said, I have never seen uh, this kind of these kind of factories anywhere in India, and I think Tirupur deserves all the laurels that it has been getting over the years. And I must applaud all the garment exporters here who have helped in carbon neutrality. Yes, well, I believe, very firmly believe, that the next decade or 2 decades belong to India. We've had a small hiccup because of the tariffs that have been imposed, but I firmly believe again that these are not sustainable. They are not sustainable because uh, even the U.S. consumers, they are going to be affected by that. It's going to increase the retail prices, increase inflation. So I do not think this is sustainable. It's just a question of when. It's not a question of why or how. So it is definitely going to happen, but the only question is when.
When you're hoping, sir?
Well, you see, your guess is as good as mine. But if it comes to hope, I would hope that it happens in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, in November it is expected to be 25%, it seems to me.
Well, I cannot comment on that. But like again, I'm saying, the government is also very hopeful. They are working round the clock, and they are working, discussing with their counterparts in the US to ensure that this gets resolved as soon as possible. The government is also, till the time this doesn't get resolved, the government is going to come up with some new policies and some assistance to the apparel exporters, and hopefully it should be announced in the next week or so.
What is the volume of exports you're expecting from this year, in fact, despite the tariff had hindered us?
Well, you see, the total volume of business that we were doing out of the 16 billion exports of apparel in 2024-25, 5.2 billion was to the US, out of which by the time the tariffs were imposed, we had already shipped out about 2.2 billion, and about 1.2 billion was in the pipeline. So, which means what is really affected is more like 2.5 billion, where uh, the additional oil tariff has been imposed.
So almost 30 days it is going to happen on this Trump 50% tax issue. Was there any downfall in the orders that were receiving?
Well, you see, I think the the retailers who have a long-term presence in India and who've been buying from India for long, they are not going to abandon India, because they also know that these tariffs are not sustainable. So they are asking us to share the spoils, so to say. So basically, consumer is paying a part of it. Part of it they are reducing from their profitability, and part of that they are expecting us to.
There are contradictions in the media and the various people from the agencies as well as from the government side, stating that there is an impact in the report and there is a heavy labor loss that will happen because of this 50% tax.
You see, there is an impact. I won't say there is no impact, but I think the Tirupur exporters and all exporters in India are resilient enough to absorb this impact. So, I mean, again, like I'm wishing and pray that this does not persist for very long. But even if it does persist for the next 2 months or 3 months, I think we are resilient enough to absorb this.
So what kind of impact is going to be because UK, the FTA has been signed and what's the volume can be increased in the coming days?
Well, see, the UK FTA is going to be operationalized by hopefully by the end of March, and we see in the first year itself we see an increase of about 25% in the import into USA of Indian garments, and over the next 3 years after it gets operationalized, we expect the garment exports from 1.2 billion to reach about 2.5 billion.
What are the new markets that you have identified, say, after this FTA has been signed?
There are several new markets that APC has identified. Uh, the APC has organized a bilateral meet in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia in the 25th, 26th, and 27th of September. We also concluded one fair in Russia. Russia is one of the markets that we are exploring. Other than that, there are of course the Australian market where we already have a FTA. We are also looking at the Scandinavian market. So we are looking at non-traditional markets.
Exports is announced to the US. Yeah, about 14,000 crore. But so far up to August 27th, we exported the goods. So only that, as our chairman said, 1 month gap where we have some issues. But again, the buyer who buys from regularly from us, they are ready to share some tariff with us, and they are negotiating. We may get about 10% of 1,500 crores may get affected totally. But by the time that BTA comes in, it'll be fine.
So there is some, there's some political talk that more than 4 or 5 lakh jobs will be lost in Tirupur.
You clearly said it's a political talk. So there is nothing, but still, tomorrow if you get 20,000 people here, we are ready to observe. No worker left or no factory is closed. It's only a political talk. அப்புறமா கேட்டீங்களா வழக்கத்து 2வது ஃபேருக்கு வந்ததுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் என்ன ஃபியூச்சரில் வேணுமோ ஸ்பெஷலி இஏஜி நாம்ஸில் வேணுங்கிற எல்லா குவாலிஃபைடு கார்மெண்ட்ஸும் எக்ஸிட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டாலும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது ஒரு நிஜமாகவே இதுவரைக்கும் இல்லாத அளவுக்கு ஒரு கேர்ஃபுல்லாக பண்ணி க்ரீன் டெக்னாலஜி க்ரீன் ஃபேக்ட்ரிங்கிற முறையில் எல்லாருமே இங்கே எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இந்த ஃபேர் வந்து ஒரு திருப்பு முறையாக அமையும். ஏன்னா இப்போ எஃப்டிஏ வித் யூகே வருது. உங்களுக்கு யூரோப்பியோட எஃப்டிஏ வந்து இந்த டிசம்பருக்குள்ள 27 கண்ட்ரி கண்டிப்பாக கையெழுத்து போடணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. நேற்று நியூஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த யூஎஸ்ஏலேருந்து வந்தவங்க வந்து ஒரு பாசிட்டிவாக ஒரு டிஸ்கஷன் முடிச்சுட்டு போயிருக்காங்க. மேபி அடுத்த வாரத்தில் நமது அரசாங்கத்திலிருந்து அங்கே அமெரிக்காவுக்கு போயிட்டு முடிச்சிருவாங்க. நான் முன்பிருந்து நான் ஒருத்தர் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன், இந்த அமெரிக்கா இது வந்து ஒரு டெம்பரரி ஃபினாமினன் தான் வழிய இதனால வந்து பெரிய எஃபெக்ட் கண்டிப்பாக வராது. அது போக எஃப்டிஏ வித் யூகே, எஃப்டிஏ வித் யூரோப் அண்ட் அகைன் பிடிஏ வித் யூஎஸ்ஏ. ஸோ இந்த நம்ம வந்து சொல்லிங்கன்னா அடுத்த 20-30 வருஷத்துக்கு apparel export of India will boom only, will not have any impact on our exports.